I want to talk about Black Room at Deep Studios. If you enjoy the content of this podcast, you will definitely enjoy the value that you get out of the Black Room and being a member of the Black Room. What it is it's a subscriber-based way to support the podcast. If you enjoy the podcast and want it to continue, I'm asking for your help. And in exchange, you're going to get an underground view of Muay Thai, American Muay Thai, as well as within Thailand. We have people who are now working on the ground in Thailand that are helping us get media, content, all that stuff. We're posting it there on Black Room, as well as behind the scenes footage of the podcast recordings when we're recording. After I stop recording for stuff that we broadcast, we put some subscriber-based only content on there. So you're going to really get a lot of value out of that subscription. Okay, it's not just supporting the podcast. We also have podcast subscriber only merchandise that's coming out as well here in 2024. So you have to be a part of the Black Room in order to get access to that. So I'm asking you for your help on that, but I know that it's not so much of you helping me. It's going to be us giving you a ton of value that you're going to get and just enjoy it. And it's only $5 a month. All right, you can cancel it anytime. Every little bit counts. Please go join it. The link is down in the show notes. All right. Anyways, sit back and enjoy the show.
Episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com. Authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of the Nak Muay. Go check it out.
Swadee Kop. Welcome to this episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Pu'u. I've been active in the Muay Thai community for over 18 years, going from professional fighter to gym owner, coach, and now being a professional Muay Thai ring official. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that's really rarely talked about in an honest way, at least in my opinion, what it actually takes to run a Muay Thai gym in 2025. All right, so a lot of people think of owning a gym. I mean, I've been there. They think it's just about teaching classes, training fighters, maybe throwing some cool events. But the reality is, it's a business. And if you don't treat it like that, it won't survive. All right. So in this episode, for anyone who runs a gym, or maybe who wants to start one, or just wants to understand what goes on behind the scenes to keep a Muay Thai academy open and alive and thriving, this episode is for you. If you're a student, this should also give you an appreciation of what your coaches do to keep the doors open for where you train at. So let's just get straight into it. We'll start with like the business side of things. So first things first, Muay Thai gyms are 100% a business. Muay Thai in Thailand is also a business. It's about money. Muay Thai gyms require revenue. Go think, right? To keep the lights open, or the lights on, flub up, right? To keep the lights on and to pay the coaches and provide a space for students to grow, all right? The equipment doesn't just grow on trees, right? Thai pads, heavy bags, especially mats, Wi-Fi internet for their system, from the check-in stuff, not to mention insurance, especially in California. It's very high expense, and you got to really think about these things. So the economics of Muay Thai in the West, like in the US, as compared to Thailand, are very different. Given the cost of living is lower in Thailand, the source of income streams is a bit different in Thailand. I'll be going over what it takes here in the United States and perhaps in other Western countries that are similar to the United States. Some people think, oh, I'm just going to open up Muay Thai gyms and train fighters, right? But that alone won't pay your bills, especially in the U.S. You're going to go broke. There's not a lot of money in fight purses in the U.S. This is one of those big economical differences between Thailand and the United States for Muay Thai. It's not like boxing. All right, you're not making big paydays. I think there's this tournament coming up. It's $25,000 grand prize for an 8-man tournament. All right, that's insane. That's actually one of the higher paid fight purses, right? Grand prizes for Muay Thai in the U.S. all right, that like there's ever been, all right, and that's just now happening. So with that, for your gym, you need multiple revenue streams, such as programs and memberships, private lesson programs, hosting events and seminars that bring in other income, merchandise sales, right? Merchandise sales, and perhaps even sponsorships. So let's talk about those costs. There's rent, insurance, utilities, marketing, labor. All right. Labor is a very high cost thing because it's a very specialized skill to teach Muay Thai, especially in the United States. Right. Your marketing budget, that's something, the digital hats, all that stuff, the equipment, there's wear and tear on the equipment. It all adds up. And if you're not watching these and you don't know your numbers, and you're not watching these numbers, you really won't make it past that first year. You're just going to be struggling, scrape by, and just stressed. All right. Pricing is another big one. So pricing your programs, if you try to be the cheapest in town, and you have to understand this as like a student who's looking at this, if you're the cheapest in town, their coach is going to struggle and they're going to burn out. Believe me, I've been there. All right. Charge what you're worth. You have to charge what you're worth. If you don't know what that is, you got to do some market research. Figure out what people are charging around you. Like, you should be charging at least as much as them, right? You have to think about an established business. Maybe the overhead is a little bit higher, right? What is their business model like? Are they trying to get as many people in as possible at like a lower cost? And then they have less customer service. Like, there's all kinds of different ways that you had to do this, right? But really, you got to charge for what your service is worth. All right. You have to keep in mind too that Muay Thai, it's not just a workout. It's not like going to 24-hour fitness. It's a whole practice. It's a martial art. It's a specialized niche skill in places outside of Thailand. That's the reality of it. It's a life-changing practice too for a lot of people, and that deserves to be valued. And the benefits of a structured program surpass any regular, like I said, gym membership at 24-hour fitness, and something that like 24-hour fitness will provide you. You're going to get way more benefit out of like a program like that, Pu'u Muay Thai. All right. So let's talk about some of the challenges kind of go into this as well. One of the hardest parts about running like a program in like a Muay Thai gym, Muay Thai academy, is keeping your students and keeping them engaged. Getting people in the door has its own challenges, and we'll address that in a little bit. But keeping your students training long-term, that's where the real work begins, all right? Because believe it or not, keeping a student is much easier for us, like from like a cost perspective. Right? It might take more time, but it costs less in the grand scheme of things to keep a student that is trying to go out and try to get new students, right? Because the way marketing works and how the market always changes as well. For in Ventura, we didn't have a lot of Muay Thai in Ventura County. Now there's quite a few. So that market changed, right? Just to give you some perspective, right? So let's talk about this. Most people start training when they're excited, they're motivated, but that motivation fades over time. That's where the community and goal setting really comes in, and for the structure of the program for your students. Pardon me if I'm coughing too a little bit. I have like this cold. I was like definitely sick after our event last week that we had at Pu'u Muay Thai. I'm not deathly sick. I'm being over dramatic, but I was out for like 2 days. So let's talk about at our academy, one of the things that we focus on. So we focus on just a few of these things. So a strong culture. So a strong academy culture for your program. And that comes from the top down. Make students feel like they belong to your community. Help them hold themselves accountable to the goals that they share with you. Have a goal setting system and a system of accountability in place for them. So that goal setting, helping students see the long-term progress and what their long-term goal is, and remind them when they lose sight of it. All right. We've all done it. We're all guilty of it. Is you have a goal, and then once obstacles come in the way, you kind of put that goal to the side, and you lose sight of that goal. All right. So really have a system in place to help your students achieve those, because they're going to be really grateful for it. For those that like to compete, competition opportunities. For those who want to test themselves and compete, right? Like I was saying, we had the Eat, Sleep, Teep 2 in Ventura, California. we never had Muay Thai events in Ventura before. So we started a grassroots program to start bringing more opportunities locally for people that have a hard time traveling. Because in Ventura, we don't have Muay Thai nearby. Usually the closest nearby you're going to get is you're driving 2 hours to East LA for weigh-ins, driving back up to Ventura, then going back again the next day to go compete, right? And that's not often enough. So here's the other thing too. When you go into that, if you have a student that wants to compete, right, or maybe they work a lot, they work a full-time job, their husband, their wife, their kids, it's hard for them. So you got to make those opportunities happen somehow for them, or help them figure out a goal, like a plan to get there, right? Because the students don't feel like they're growing, they quit. It's simple as that. And it's important, and it's easy for people to forget where they started on that day one. So having a system in place for that is very important. So let's talk about our kids programs too. You're not just training the kids for Muay Thai. You're not training them to fight. You're educating the parents too. They see that Muay Thai just isn't about fighting. Like parents, they see how we teach kids. We don't call it a fighting stance. We call it a ready stance, right? I don't want parents to think that we're teaching fighting, because we're not. That's not the core principle of the lessons that they're learning through martial arts. We don't want them to associate with fighting. All right. So it's about building confidence, discipline, and personal growth for their kids. There's a lot of research now coming out. I think I've talked about it here in the podcast a couple of times, on the YouTube channel, that proves that martial arts like Muay Thai are the best activity for kids' brain development. We're not talking about full contact head sparring and stuff, guys. For those that might be listening or watching, all right? It's the physical activity of learning, the focus, the discipline, going across the planes for their brain to build those new neurological connections, building the myelin sheath in the brain. And this is something that they're just showing more and more research over a long period of time, a long span of time. I wish I would add this when I was a kid, to be able to have that and have my brain supercharged like these kids do, though. So this activity itself for kids is probably one of the best activities for the brain. And it's literally one of the top activities you can put your child in, over dance, over like horseback riding, baseball, soccer, football, all that stuff. Okay. So just taking with that point in, right? So let's go into next, let's talk a little bit about the marketing and community aspect. These are the things that people think about. People aren't just going to magically find your gym, right? You have to market yourself. Some people say, well, I'll just get a really nice location. That costs money, bro. That doesn't just grow on trees. You have to, a nice location, that costs more money. You're going to have to charge more to be in that location. And you need people who are willing to come in and pay that to be able to keep the doors open, and for you to be able to pay yourself, so that way you're not sleeping on the street. All right. Straight up. Social media is huge nowadays. I liken it to, it's like, if you're me, grew up in the 90s, magazines, we'd look at gaming, sports magazines, all these surf magazines. Social media is now your modern magazine. Anybody could start their own. You need to be posting regularly, showcasing what you do. If Instagram is just fight clips, right, you're really only talking to fighters. That's really like maybe 5% of your student base that you're going to have in the US. All right. So if you're only talking to those spiders, you're not talking to the people who are actually going to want to come in to try a class and enroll in your programs that are going to genuinely benefit, and they're like the masses that you actually serve, right? So it's very important for you to understand that I'm not hating on anybody that specializes teaching at the garage or whatever, but if you're trying to open up a commercial business and keep your doors open, you got to keep in mind about how you teach your programs and how you build your team too. We'll get into that in a bit. All right. So going into your marketing, your social media, you need to show beginners learning Muay Thai. You need to show kids building confidence, right? Adults getting in shape, bettering themselves, and people having fun. If it's not fun, why do it, right? It's important that people are having fun. A lot of people seek Muay Thai as an alternative to going to the gym. They want someone to be held accountable to, the community that's there that helps them be accountable to themselves, all right? And don't forget about local outreach as well. So this is also on social media. Remember, social media is social. you better believe, and I'm sure some of you that are listening, we're all up in your DMs. All right. Pu'u Muay Thai DMs almost every person that follows. I say almost because I know they slip through the cracks. But almost every person that follows Pu'u Muay Thai, we DM'd on them. All right. Every one of them. And we talk to them. Figure out, hey, are you somebody who's interested in training? Hey, are you a student of ours? Hey, are you somebody that's interested in the podcast? Are you somebody that's interested in East Teep events? Are you somebody that's interested in our books, our media, just our content and want to support because you like Muay Thai? Great. We want to talk to you. Because that word gets around, right? And word of mouth referrals are some of your strongest leads and strongest students that can improve. All right. If somebody's talking about you, they're not hearing your marketing. They're hearing your friend or their family member talk to them about why they should go train. Their priority sold on the program, right? So unless you completely suck, if you come in and they do a trial class, whatever it is that you do, chances are they're probably going to start trading with you. So, and if your students love your programs, they'll bring your friends in. At Pu'u Muay Thai, we do VIP months where we get students coming in and getting their friends and family and getting them involved in their training too. So that's very important. So, and that goes into community involvement. So even if they bring their friends in, they don't start, so they have a great experience with us, you better believe they're going to be talking about your program, right? Another thing is sponsor local events, work with schools, and become a household name in your area. There's multiple ways to do this, all right? And I'll get into that in a little bit as well about how you need more information on that. So not only that is your staffing and your leadership. So your gym is only as strong as your team, all right? If you think you can do it all yourself, you're setting yourself up to fail, especially if you think you're going to have like a couple hundred students. Believe me, there's been a lot of research. Actually, the U.S. military did this, and they put a lot of money into this, guys. If you're following all this Doge stuff that's going, you see how much money is spent on research, right? It's very public right now. It's a very hot topic. So the military did a lot of research, and one person can keep track of 150 people, all the details, like how many kids they have, their husband, their spouse's name, their wife's name, what their job is, what their favorite food is, their favorite color, their what their strengths, what their weaknesses are. 150 people. Okay. So if your business is going to require you to be over 150 people and you're one person, oh, you better believe you're going to need this team. Okay. So you need the right coaches and the right staff to have you back on it. But here's the thing. A great fighter doesn't always make a great coach. So again, talking about those people who just talk about, hey, I'm going to train fighters and we're going to have a great coach. That's not always the case. All right. You need coaches who could teach and not just fight. You need a front desk staff that understands customers and customer service. You need a leadership team that believes in your vision. All right, what you want for your advanced students, what you want your gym to do to achieve, and the goals that you want for your team to achieve. All right. And as that leader, that head of the gym, that chief instructor, the gym owner, the academy director, you have to lead. You have to set the tone. It's on you. And everybody has their own style of leadership. You see at the tournaments. Like if you go to the Muay Thai tournaments, you see how these teams are led. And the powerhouse teams, go look at the leader, because that's where you can learn a lot from. So the little things too. If you show up late, your staff will too, right? If you don't care about your customer service, neither will they. For me, we have what's called the 3-foot rule at our academy. It's to say hi to everybody that walks in the door within 3 feet of setting foot inside the academy. I've been kicked in the face holding pads for somebody because I said hi to somebody. Like I'm not saying you need to get kicked in the face, right? But I'm saying that. And by the way, let me know if you want to see that video. I have a video somewhere of me saying hi to somebody and get kicked in the face while holding pads. But the moral of the story is like lead by example. All right. If you want your staff to do something and you're that lead, man, you gotta show the way. All right. So it's your job to create an environment of accountability and that academy culture that you want for your students and your staff. You want it to be a place they want to be at. All right. And you have to think about like your why, your bigger picture. Like, what is your why? Why do you do this? Why do you want to open up a program? Why do you have a gym? Why are you thinking about it? All right. Just like a student has their why they want to start training, why are you opening this up? So At the end of the day, Muay Thai is more than a sport. It's a tool for transformation. It changes lives. It creates a lot of opportunities for people too. I've seen students come in shy. They can't make eye contact. They're lacking confidence. I was one of those people that lacked confidence. I had a hard time making eye contact when I started training Muay Thai at 18. I was 18 years old. Had a hard time making eye contact with people. Still figure, right? So you might also get people who struggle with their personal lives. And over time, Muay Thai changes them, right? Believe it or not. And we're not just running a business with that. We're really, truly having a positive impact in changing people's lives through Muay Thai. And that's why retention is so important for the students. It's not just about keeping the gym running. It's about helping people stay on path to achieving their goals and bettering themselves through Muay Thai. I've had, more students than I can count that personally come up to me and thank me personally in their words, this is in their words, for saving their life. And I'm always kind of like taking it, whoa, like if I didn't know what it was, like I was kind of, sometimes it took me off guard. I didn't know. I, of course, saw them getting happier to seem more confident. Maybe I thought like, hey, they're just warming up to me. But, it could be due to mental health, physical ailments, or personal issues. It's a big part of many people's lives of why they start as well. And I know this firsthand. All right. It's why I take our students' attention and our attention to detail for our students very seriously with our team. We talk about it. We have a group, line of communication. We talk all the time. All right. So it's something that's very important. And having that strong why, and I always share it with myself, is to have a positive impact on as many people as possible. It's one of the reasons why we have the podcast. It's one of the reasons why I'm doing this episode. So I know that if you are, one, thinking about opening up a gym, or you're a gym owner, maybe you're a gym owner who's struggling, all right? Or your coach is struggling in Muay Thai and struggling to keep the doors open, I can understand, all right? Times are hard, times are tough, right? That's why I have this video. So let's recap on this. Running a gym in a Muay Thai program is hard, straight up. It's a business. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So it needs to be treated like a business, all right? Retention is everything. If students don't stay at your gym and in your program and training, your business won't survive. And marketing matters. If people don't know about you or your gym, they won't enroll. It doesn't matter how good you are. They can walk in and say, if you're not good at marketing and talking to people, they will give two shits. They will care. All right. They'll go enroll at the Johnny's Karate down the street that says they teach Muay Thai, even though they don't in their karate school. And you're the Muay Thai person, because they're better at marketing, because the karate guys got it sorted out years ago. All right. And leadership is key. Your staff and students will follow your example. And most importantly, Muay Thai saves lives. All right. It's very important how the life-changing abilities of Muay Thai. So if you're a new gym owner or you're looking to start your own program, I want to hear from you. All right. If you are a student of a place, or maybe this sounds like your coach is having a hard time, or it sounds relatable to them, share this with them. Say, hey, coach, I thought about you. Maybe some of this can help you. So we've helped many people start the programs from little to no funds to being in a fully staffed and operational commercial Muay Thai business, all through Muay Thai. We tried to help maintain authenticity for those in this industry and understand how much passion does drive this community. And we want to help you. Like, I've learned a lot we've been in the business for over a decade. We made it through COVID. Shit was not easy. I'd rather you learn, get less gray hairs like me. That way I can help you have a positive impact on people in your community. So if you're watching this, just drop a comment on the YouTube video. Or if you're listening to this, shoot us a DM over on Instagram at Pu'u Muay Thai. We can connect to chat with one of our program directors with our program to see about how we can help you. All right. And this is really just the tip of the iceberg of this conversation. It's hard, man. Inflation, you got economics, you got politics, all these different things that come in. So let me know if you're interested in hearing more about one of these topics. I'm happy to talk about it. It's something I'm immensely passionate about. But with that said, that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And I will catch you on the next one. Sawadee Krap.
All right, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in today to the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast.
If you enjoy the content, go leave a review over on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Give us a rating. It means the world to us. Also, if you want to be a guest on the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast, or if you just want to shout out to your friend, go check us out at podcast.pu'umuaythai.com. You can submit to be able to be a guest on the podcast. You can submit what you want to talk about. Also, if you want to just give a shout out, there's a button for that too. Sawadee Kop.